Who jumps out of perfectly good airplanes in the name of science? Mr. C.
Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a good weekend. Hey, next Monday is going to be a good Monday. So anyway, I'll get to that in just a minute. So if you'll take your BFFs out, okay, your best friends forever. Would that be my journal? Would that be my lesson planner? Yes, indeedy. So if you'll take those out, and if you'll also in your lesson planner kind of get ready to really kind of mark it up a little bit for the next couple of weeks. Okay, so I'll talk to you about a number of things. So anyway, first I wanted to show you a couple of very neat phenomena, plural for phenomenon, just some neat thing that you see in nature. I'm holding up the SSRs because I've got plenty of SSRs available, and here's the story. You're going to have one more section of SSRs due this last quarter. Today's the official start of the fourth quarter, so hopefully in your mind and in your journal you're setting goals a la your superpowers, and setting goals and tracking your goals about your fourth quarter performance, and not just my class but all your classes. So anyway, by probably the second week of May, so you have heaps of time, as they say in Australia, heaps of time to accomplish this. But what I want are 10, count them, 10 SSRs done neatly and completely, not just one or two word SSRs, but a bit more of a description. That's why I provide 2 lines for each one. You don't need to remember the specific date. Roughly, when did it occur? And it can be anything from, we didn't do SSRs the third quarter, so it could be anything that occurred in the third quarter or the fourth quarter, but I want it to be relatively recent, and then just turn it in. So it'll be worth 10 points. So my whole point on the SSRs, I want you to pay attention, not just this year, but my hope is that you'll pay attention whether you call them SSRs or not. I don't care. Serendipities, really neat, special, often customized, just for you, in other words, customized by God, experiences that He gives you that are really cool, that you really appreciate. Could be big, could be little. So yesterday I had a Polish hot dog from, I'm not going to mention the restaurant, but from this restaurant, and it was so good. Oh, it's a little SSR, but it would have been worthy of a 2-sentence description. The grilled onions on it, the mustard, it's my favorite. Anyway, it was so good. Char grilled, yum-o. Anyway, SSRs over the next, what are we looking at? So here we are looking at the second week of March, and so we've got 3.5 weeks in March left, and then all of April, and then 3 weeks in May. So I'm going to call for those probably at the latest I don't know, the second, probably something like no later than the 14th of May, probably. So, good amount of time, couple of months, but be thinking about it. Now, I want to show you these. These would qualify as SSRs if you had the privilege of seeing them. I don't know if I can get these up close. Yeah, you can. Aren't those pretty? What are they, Mr. C? These are called light pillars. I've seen them in the news over the last week. Good friends sent pictures to me. And you can only get light pillars. Are we going to get light pillars down here in Phoenix? Not going to happen, most likely. It better not happen, because you have to have super cold temperatures, like below zero, so it ain't going to happen in Phoenix anytime soon, unless we go to an ice age. So I think we're good. But anyway, it's got to be super cold, so probably a northern border state. And it's got to be a really calm night, no winds, super cold, no winds, probably clear, and ice crystals form. And these ice crystals take on six-sided shapes. And they act as mirrors to reflect light. A lot of them are from street lights, but not all of them. So they reflect and they refract. You know about that. They bend light into different colors, like our atmosphere does, using the light from Sirius. So anyway, light pillars, aren't they gorgeous? So I just wanted to show them to you. These would be examples of SSRs, and they pop up in science. Then I wanted to show you this. Many of you have seen this before. This is the Aurora Borealis. Again, you would see it at night. You have to be way north or way south. I've asked my relatives in Oz, Australia, whether they've ever seen these, and they haven't. Probably not far enough south. If you were in Tasmania, which is the southernmost Aussie state, perhaps. But anyway, you'd have to get close to the South Pole or North Pole. Then here's what happens. What happens is particles, fast-moving particles from the sun, interact with gases in our atmosphere. And depending on the kind of gas, they refract, bend light into the different colors or different wavelengths of the spectrum, which makes for, as you already know, different colors. The Aurora Borealis. Okay? Those are the northern lights. Boreal means north. And then there is the Aurora Australis. I know what that is. Australis. It sounds like Australia, Mr. C. Yep. And it means southerly. Australia is like southern place, is what it means. So anyway, I thought you'd enjoy seeing those two really cool science phenomena. It's what makes science so interesting, and it's what encourages me to encourage you to all your life. Just be aware of SSRs. They're not all going to be science phenomena, but some of them will be. You'll see things that are amazing. Yesterday when I went to school, when I got to school in the morning, there were the most awesome feathery cirrus clouds. And guess what they had coming out of the bottom of them? I'll bet it was Virga. It was. So these feathery cirrus clouds with Virga coming out the bottom. It was awesome. Sounds like you, Mr. C. Well, yeah, you know how I am a naturalist, one of the parts of my superpowers. So it is what I enjoy about science and teaching science. There's so many cool things. Well, I want to show you, this fourth quarter is going to rip. It's really going to go fast. So I wanted to show you the month of March. we have this week, and you probably know already Thursday's a half day, and then it's parent-teacher conferences for us teachers with your parents, some of them. Some of you are doing so well, your parents will go, well, I probably don't need a student-teacher conference with that teacher. So many of you are doing super well in my class, so that might end up being the case. So anyway, so there's that, and then we've got a quiz. Do you see that? A quiz scheduled for, do you have it down there? I think so. There it is, the 12th, yeah. Right there. A quiz. Do you see that? Quiz. No more than 20 points, 15 to 20 points. This time it's a quiz, probably a one-pager. And then you already know next week. Check that out. Next week, spring break, baby. Spring break. So we're all looking forward to that, to catch our breath. So anyway, it should be cool. Okay, you've got your journal out, right? Now, I don't think I need to take a little break at this time. Mr. Phillip will clarify anything at the end of the period, but I want to remind you about your journal. Mr. C, you didn't check our journals this quarter. No, I didn't, but I will at the end of the fourth quarter. Keep using your journal. Anytime we do a divine design like today, stick it in your journal. Stick in the key things. So in it goes. So I'll probably be calling for those about the same time as the SSRs, about the 14th of May probably. So, but TBD, to be determined. So I want to show you something too, to give you a heads up for the semester exam. Already? It's 2 months away, Mr. C. Actually 2.5 months away. You're right. Probably 9 weeks away to the semester exam. But I want to put your minds at ease. I'm going to give you a series of these, not now, a series of these study guides from the different sections of your textbook. And then when we review for the semester exam, we'll go over these and highlight what I want you to know, like we did at the end of the first semester. Good deal. It will. It's going to work out good for you. So that'll be great. And I've decided, besides those, for the fourth quarter, for the third quarter's information, I'm going to run off a copy of your tests with the answers so you'll be able to study them. Oh, another good deal. So you'll have the tests from the third quarter, and you'll have the lesson guides, study guides, from the fourth quarter. So I've got you covered. So it's going to really help you. You'll do well on the final, like those of you who really triple R'd for the first semester final. So anyway, all of that coming up. I wanted to tell you about it. Now, I told you March is coming in like a lion. It usually does, and goes out like a lamb. It kind of roars. It means the weather's a little rougher. It's windier. So here's what to look for in the weather. It's going to happen this week. The temperatures are going to climb up. Today's supposed to be 86-ish. So climbing up. Then the temperature will drop 10 degrees. Later in the week, the temperature is going to drop down to 76 in the daytime. And guess what else is going to come in? That cooler air is going to be ushered in with higher winds. So temperatures go up, temperatures come down. Usually they come down when we have wind go through and blow in cooler air. So wind goes up, wind goes down, and it becomes calmer. So that's what's going to happen during the month of March. Temperatures up, temperatures down. Wind goes up, wind speed goes up, wind speed goes down. Comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb. Way calmer. It's usually the case. Now, I'm still praying for snow dumps, big snow dumps in the high country yet. Could happen. I'm praying God will cause the jet to drop south and bring us big blobs of moisture from the Pacific Ocean, the PACO. So, and then the jet stream carry that over us. We'll see. Lord, please, we ask that you would allow that to happen. So, anyway, I wanted to go over that with you. Then, as I put your test scores in, by the way, almost all scores are in for all periods, for almost everybody. So the cake is baked for most of you. If you turned in the Mars video, I put it in already yesterday. If you did the Orion observation, I put it in. And turned it in, I put it in. It's too late now. Too late to turn it in now. I've got to turn my grades in today. I'm taping this on Sunday, so my grades have to be in essentially tomorrow evening, by tomorrow night. So you can see why I'm a little bit stressed about that, and that's why I can't let things come in last minute now. I mean, it's too late. Too late. So anyway, but I wanted to go over this test with you. As I put this test in, I noticed a number of recurring questions that were missed. So I wanted for you to really quick just see what they were. So, I'm making myself a note. Perseverance is now on the move on Mars. They're starting to move it a little bit, and I'll show you a picture of that tomorrow. So in your lesson planner homework I'd like you to go over your periodic table on the elements we've done so far, whether you're 7th grade or 8th grade, it doesn't matter. So review those just a little bit. The 2 kinds of gas on the sun, the 2 kinds of gas in the Earth's atmosphere, and then the other 2, I think we ended up having carbon in living things, and then the metal iron, which combines with O2, oxygen, and forms rust, like on Mars. So, and like a number of places here on Earth. So I wanted to just go over a couple of sections here. On the Mars one, why can't a JPL NASA scientist control moment by moment the entry, landing, and touchdown? Because the communication is delayed 7 to 11 minutes. That was the correct answer, and only correct answer. A delay in the message, so they've got to have it pre-programmed. Why is, we did that already. What place on Earth could we compare to Mars temperature-wise? Some of you missed that. So you know how I say tests are a reading check, and you all go, oh, I could read fine. Really? Do you ever read so fast then you skip over things? So I said a place on Earth we could compare to Mars temperature-wise. Well, Antarctica or the Arctic. So Siberia, where it's super cold, because it's super cold there. Okay, what did the JPL NASA scientists do to prevent Perseverance from burning up? They had a heat shield. A heat shield that they jettisoned right before they landed, so the radar would work. What is the Mars atmosphere predominantly made of? CO2, the gas you breathe out. Carbon dioxide. C, that's the carbon part. O2 is di for 2, oxide, 2 oxygens. CO2. From a day in summer to a winter night, Mars can have a 265 degree, holy cow, temperature change. That's Fahrenheit. Why? Because it's a long way from the sun. That's one reason. And then the other reason is a thin atmosphere, a very thin atmosphere. So same with Mercury, right? Mercury. Except Mercury, even though it's close to the sun, has no atmosphere to speak of, and it's a slow rotator. Mars isn't a slow rotator. Mars rotates the speed we do, but it's a long way from the sun and that thin CO2 atmosphere. Is there life on Mars? And if there is, how did it get there? Well, they think there could be life because of water, but it's just an assumption. They don't know there's life. If you hear anybody say, oh yeah, we're pretty sure there's life on Mars, actually it's not a very good chance that there's life on Mars. Are you ruling it out totally? No, of course not. That wouldn't be scientific. So we'll let them gather data. But they haven't found any yet. And that's one of the reasons perseverance is up there. If you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, I wanted to highlight this one, you'd weigh 38 pounds on Mars. It's because Mars has, it's only about half the size of Earth, and that means it has way less mass, which causes way less weight. Those of you who put weight, you got half a point. It's the mass. Mass causes weight. Mass causes gravitational attraction, and that's your weight. So it's mass, right? Mass. Did I mention mass? Yeah, mass causes gravity, which causes your weight no matter where you are. So if you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh 38 pounds. 38% of your Earth weight on Mars. Why is Mars heavily cratered? No shield. The atmosphere is so thin. Meteorites. Meteors just come in. Meteor, 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 meteorite. So, thin atmosphere. The metric system, I'm not going to go over that, but that is the metric system on the semester exam. You betcha. So, all right. So, this is the matter and chemistry part. Volume is the amount of space an object takes up. Space, volume. An object is classified as matter if it has some matter and takes up some space. Those two things. Has matter or mass and takes up space. Name two smaller particles atoms are made of. Well, protons and neutrons in the nucleus, and then electrons orbiting, and there could also be heptons, leptons, see what else, gluons, and then there's the, what is it called, I can't remember the name of those. So anyway, I'll have to come up with that later. This kind of matter is where the atoms freely fly around, and the key was on this, it didn't mention the sun or stars. Well, that then would be this, in this case, that would be just a gas, like on Earth. Okay, now later it mentions, there it is, extremely energetic particles that fly around on other stars and the sun. Well, now we're talking plasma. How'd you know? What's the indicator? Sun or other stars. Then it's got to be a plasma. Okay, we don't find plasma naturally on planet Earth. In laboratories, if you can heat up gases really high in labs. Yeah. Okay. The all-important inside part of an atom. Some of you got snookered on this, and I wasn't trying to trick you. I just wanted to give you a multiple choice. It's either the center of the atom, a neutron. No, it's not neutron. That's a particle. Or nucleus. So it's nucleus. Most of you got it. The majority of you had nucleus, but some of you put neutron down. Neutron's a particle in the center. Some of you confused hydrogen and helium, the symbol. Hydrogen's H. Remember the brain glue I tried to give you on helium? H-E. I was trying to give you brain glue on helium. You'll see it again on a test. Why didn't the Lord put more oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere? Well, it would make things more flammable or explosive, and too much oxygen would be hurtful to your lungs. Okay, what is your superpower? I'm continuing to hit this. I hope you'll remember it all your life. Your superpower is the unique you that God designed you to be. But look what I had here. But I said from your Go Tappy package. A lot of you quit reading and you didn't read Go Tappy package. See that? So you gave me your superpower, or told me what your superpower is. No, I wanted Go Tappy package. Gifts, opportunities, talents, abilities. Then it's personality, purpose, physical appearance, made in God's image. That's what I wanted. So watch for that the next time. Wasn't trying to trick you. Two important things you can do to level up on your superpower. You already know what they are. I'm going over them again because you'll see them again. So what can you do? Get experts' help, practice, practice, practice. set goals, chart your goals, all the other things. What kind of atom is constantly slamming into each other on the sun? Hydrogen, of course. H. Name 2 of the 3 things that produce the fusion process. So, or that are produced in the fusion process. Well, helium, and then heat and light. What's the scientific law that holds negatively charged electrons and positively charged? There's a clue right there. So, it's in this case, the scientific law is the law of opposites. It's opposites attract. And then what's the force that causes protons to hold together? They should repel each other in the nucleus. Few of you got it. I'm telling you again what it is. It is a strong force, or the strong nuclear force. It's got to be strong. The SNF, strong nuclear force, holds those protons together. They shouldn't hold together. So, and then, this wasn't a trick. The name of Earth's star. What's the name of our star that gives us heat and light? The sun, of course. So we're not trying to trick you. The brightest star we can see from Earth, you've been looking at it. Sirius. Sirius. What does this star and all stars that we see, how do they twinkle? Their light goes through the atmosphere surrounding the Earth and gets bounced around. Oh, okay. Many of you got it. Earth's atmosphere bounces the light waves around. Science cannot prove the age of the Earth or Mars. It's just an assumption for creationists and evolutionists. But there's way more indicators in the data that the Earth is young, only thousands of years old. Like, the Earth is too hot, it should have leaked its heat out. The moon is too hot, it should have leaked its heat out. So rocks have too much water and gas in them, that should have leaked out. Let's see, some of the other ones, dinosaur fossils have DNA, it should have broken down. They have red blood cells in them, should have broken down. And then the sun is way too faint. It should be much bigger and brighter if it were billions of years old or millions of years old. So indicating that it's way younger. So anyway, what about the way God created the universe and everything in it that indicates that it's not that old? He made it in 6 creation days, 6 24-hour periods. That's fast. He created everything fast. So anyway, those are the biggies. Okay. Hey, your journal in your divine design sections, I want you to watch this little video on the, I don't think you've seen this, on the snow leopard. It's really cool, and there's 8 to 10 divine design features on the snow leopard. So jot them down really quick, just for yourself. They don't have to be sentences. Just jot down the divine design features of the snow leopard. It's quite cool. Mr. Phillip is going to run it the way it goes.